Welcome to Level Select, a golf podcast by Fairways, where we aim to help you learn more about some of the nation's most talked about golf courses, as well as uncover some hidden gems with a little help from our friends and their firsthand experiences. I'm TJ Van Gunten. With me, as always, is Sean Massey, and today it's Christmas in July, folks. The golf course we're talking about was built on an old Christmas tree farm and orchard. We're talking wide open fairways, tricky greens, sweeping views of Lake Michigan, and more elevation changes than a Six Flags. Yep, we're talking Champion Hill Golf Course in Beulah, Michigan with Marco of the Scratch Golf Show. Marco, welcome to Level Select.
Fellas, thank you so much for having me. I know we've been trying to do this for a couple weeks now. Very excited to get on and talk destination hidden gems in northern Michigan, my home state. Champion Hill, great golf course, holds a very special place in my heart, and it's just an awesome golf course. Excited to talk about it with your listeners and fans, and hopefully we get some people up there in the Michigan area. So, but thank you for having me. Excited to talk all things golf today.
Yeah, I know Sean is no stranger to Michigan golf. You guys were chopping it up. That's what I was looking for before we hopped on here. But, we're excited to do a feature up there and, cover a new geographic area for us. I think we're always trying to look and see where haven't we been or where else can we go to help enlighten people on some hidden gems. So we're excited to do this. But before we dive into Champion Hill, Marco, you host the Scratch Golf Show on YouTube where you cover golf news. You've really started to carve out a little bit of a niche and make a name for yourself, even more so recently, interviewing some of the bigger golfers in the YouTube space and covering the news around some of the things that they do. So I have a question for you. What is your dream foursome of guests that you have not had on the podcast yet? That's the asterisk I'm going to throw on you there.
So are you wondering dream foursome of like golf course or like a foursome interview where like I interview three people? Like you're talking about the dream.
No, let's say you've got to do the foursome on the golf course. You're going to go play with these guys, but it's got to be three people who you haven't had on the podcast yet. We might be using. Man. You can use this as a pitch. If any of these guys happen to listen to us and not you. Who knows?
Well, let me start by saying I feel like the most obvious, right? Obviously, as you just mentioned, I've had some of the biggest YouTubers on. Most recently, obviously Wesley Bryan, Matt Sharp were some big names, but Grant Horvat, I mean, come on, like that's just a layup. He's actually a Michigan guy, which I don't think a lot of people know. He was born and raised, or I don't want to say born and raised. I think until he was about 9, was born in Grosse Pointe, which is about 45 minutes from where I live, but just north of Detroit. So given that one, he's obviously the biggest and best and all that comes with it. But just the fact that he's a Michigan guy, I think would be very cool to have him on working on it. We've never talked before, but I think he at least knows who I am. We're working actually on getting Sky on some point. Sky's committed just with how busy he is. For those who don't know, Sky is Grant's editor. Trying to get him on, and then hopefully once that happens, we maybe get Grant on as well. But, fingers crossed. And then I'm going to say my second one, another Garrett Clark, GM Golf, I think would be great to have on. He is one, a very good golfer, and two, one of the OGs, right? Someone, like you said, I've never had on the podcast. I've had 8 of the good guys on, a ton of the newer guys, but none of the OGs. Sharf was my first OG, and Garrett, I think, one, he's fun to play with, obviously, and just, being able to pick their brains on YouTube. The last one I think is actually going to be very tough for me. I was just leaning Micah Morris, ironically enough, because I saw his Instagram story today. He was up at Arcadia Bluffs, which I know we were just talking about.
Yeah, wow.
But I'm going to go with Taco. Just because I watched the Taco, Wesley Bryan, George, Luke collab earlier today.
Yeah.
Those guys are hilarious. I think that would be a fun foursome. And I play to a scratch, obviously, hence the name, the Scratch Golf Show. I'm not great, but good enough golfer. We got a foursome of good golfers where I think I try to be, I'm not humble about most things, but YouTube and golf, I try to be humble. Keyword there is try. My wife would
You're like in the 1% of golfers in your life.
Well, when you play with guys who kick my buddy shot 68 yesterday, beat me by 6. It's like, but I think getting the competitiveness, what I love about golf, growing up playing a lot of sports like athlete. I think the competitiveness in that foursome would be fun too. Everyone, is obviously better than me, but I think we'd have a good time. So that's a good foursome for me. Except Taco and for Quan maybe, but I like Taco. So we'll roll with those. We'll roll with those 3 guys.
Please forgive me, but is Taco the New Zealand guy?
Yeah. So there's the New Zealand boys. There's Taco, Quan, Sam, Toombs, and then another one. I forget their name, but yeah, they're. I started watching their content more lately. They're hilarious. So they're good. I love watching guys with good golf swings. Personally, that's just my guilty pleasure apparently. So
I got to see Garrett at the Grass Clippings Open here in Phoenix, and his swing look. Obviously, I've seen him on YouTube, but seeing wave after wave of guys come in and then him go too, like he belonged. His swing looked great. It was pure, and he was hitting some great shots out there.
Yeah. Ironically enough, I didn't go to that one. I went in February to the Good Open out there at Grass Clip. I was actually going out there in a month to play. I was just emailing the course to get the tee time set up, and that's a fun golf course. Excited to get out there and play that par 3 course. It looks
You're
fun
coming out in a month
under the lights. Yeah, for bachelor party in September for Labor Day weekend. Woo! Not my choice, but it's gonna be hot. Yeah, excited to play some night golf. That's for sure.
Sean, you're busy that weekend.
I will not be here. I don't know if you know this. I live in Phoenix, but I won't be here that weekend. So.
I'm getting married that weekend. Sean's officiating my wedding, so he's already committed. He can't try and sneak in a beer with you or anything like that. So he's busy.
Well, congrats on the wedding. I got married last year. It's the best day of your life. I love my wife. She's my biggest supporter. So congratulations. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Shout out to the wives and fiancés out there. Really putting up with all of our BS.
Your dream foursome if you love her so much. I mean,
we golf enough. We see each other enough.
All right, so before we jump into talking about Champion Hill and what makes it so special with Marco, I just want to take a brief second to thank today's episode sponsor, Bird Darts. Today's episode of Must Play is sponsored by Bird Darts Premium Golf Tees. Nothing relaxes me more on the course than tearing open a box and ripping a few bird darts with the boys. The 100% bamboo golf tees feature a clean design with marks to help you tee up your shots consistently, so your only swing thought is worrying about the cart girl who's watching you tee off. You can also use bird darts without worrying about harming the environment. They're biodegradable, and the packaging is made from recycled materials. Head over to their website, birddarts.com, and use code FAIRWAGERS for 10% off today. Check out their new 4-packs they just dropped for you and all your boys. All right, so thanks again to Bird Darts. Marco, obviously we try and have people come on and talk about golf courses that are near and dear to their hearts. Let us know why you wanted to come on and talk about Champion Hill today. Like, why do you love this course so much? Why do you think this course deserves so much more attention? Tell us why you joined.
Yeah, no, like you said, one, I think the story of it is super interesting. Like, I got put onto this golf course 3 years ago now. Before that, it was like really, really unknown. I think social media, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, podcasting, there's been a lot of like places in Michigan that have really become well known these last 3, 4, 5 years, whatever you call it, since COVID. And I got put in this golf course and went up there with one of my best friends. Just ultimate vibes. Like you said, it's built on a tree farm. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. The sign to get in is just like a generic brown sign that says Champion Hill. I don't remember if it says Champion Hill GC or Champion Hill Golf Course. We pulled in. I just fell in love immediately. It's very close to Crystal Downs, which I'm sure if you guys are golf nuts, and if you guys aren't Crystal Downs, one of the most exclusive golf courses in the world. It's only about 30 minutes from Crystal Downs, and you can actually see Crystal Lake from some of the views on the golf course. Gets dubbed the poor man's Crystal Downs by a lot of people, and just the absolute layout of the golf course. And by no means is it equivalent to Crystal Downs. Poor man is an equivalent. It's a very nice golf course for the price you get to pay. It's awesome, and it's wide open. So for me, someone who has a lot of ball speed and can tend to get it going both directions off the tee. You can't really lose a golf ball. I mean, you can. It's hard because even the longer grass is the not as wispy, thin stuff, so you see a lot of it, and everything's in front of you. It's just a fun confidence builder. I think anyone of any handicap can play it. And I'm a Michigan guy, so I played there the morning of my wedding last year. They were accommodating to us. Just a very cool golf course. I think it's got a very cool story. And like I said, that whole corner of Michigan is just very near and dear to my heart. Spent a lot of time with my family up there, wife's family, these last few years, and just grown to fall in love with the area. So hopefully that answers the question.
One of my favorite things that you touched upon also is it's wide open. It's very tough to lose a ball out there. I love when people say that because I'm like, watch me. Like I feel like I can push that to the absolute limits where people joke about the 300-yard drive, 150 yards this way and 150 yards that way. I fully have that shot capable in my bag at any moment. So, but I do love.
He's capable of both, right? He's capable of the longest drive of the group and straight down the middle. And then that usually shows up after he's not on your team for a match or the match is over. And then he's just like bombing it down the hole.
Take the cameras off. Take the pressure off of me.
Yeah, cameras are off. First, the pressure is like the hard left ball or one.
Feel
of those.
that. I'm a foul ball hitter. My right ball is high and way right.
Same.
So I have put that to the challenge. I have lost balls out there. Don't get me wrong, but it's cool because it's just like you said. It's built on an old Christmas tree farm. The owner actually lives on property, like on the golf course. And they never wanted to get into the golf game. They just built the golf course. So they had the property. Like I said, they have a sister course that's down the road. And the golf course, it's like your true like cow pasture, not as a bad thing. But you can drive the golf carts everywhere, basically not bunkers, trees, or tee boxes, and they got wicket tee boxes. It's just a really cool setup, and I'm excited to get into the stuff that I have prepared today for the selling points of the golf course. Hopefully, your listeners get to check it out.
Yeah, Sean, do you have any prior knowledge of Champion Hill coming into today? Obviously, I would assume you did a little research as you usually do for Must Play, but knowing that you have I won't say you have roots in Michigan, but you have some ties. Anything that you could care to add to this, or anything you have prepared for the group today?
Well, I think Michigan is the home of the future boys golf trip. I really want to take you, Jones, and Diaz out to Michigan. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I think summer in Michigan is one of the coolest things you can do in the U.S. And there's so many golf courses, especially Western Michigan, that people just don't know about. You could stay in Grand Rapids, for example, and go play like 10 different courses all within 30 minutes. So I did not know about Champion Hill, to be honest. I know Crystal Downs, obviously, and the rest. We were talking about Arcadia Bluffs and other ones that make the list. I do want to go out there and go experience all of that. But I think the one thing that makes that part of the world so special, besides the people and like just the atmosphere and stuff, is that it is so peaceful. I don't know how to explain it, but like living in a city like here in Phoenix, you go out there and it's quiet and you're just playing golf and you can hear the bugs. You can hear just like the wind going through the trees and stuff. And out in the West, you have to go to the coast or you have to go somewhere out of the way to kind of go experience that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like peaceful whenever I'm on a course in Michigan, and I just I want to be out there. It's the best place to be. And also too, we talked to Brett in Nebraska, but like when it's closed in the winter and you have a shorter season to go golf, I feel like people enjoy it more. They take advantage of being there on the course that day. The
scarcity creates like this kind of excitement about it to say, hey, we only get to enjoy this for half of the year or 3/4 of the year, right?
Yeah. What would you say the season is up there, Marco?
So ironically enough, where I am, it can be from like March or it could start in like mid-April. You really don't know. Yeah. I've golfed the week of March Madness. So as you guys know, that's usually St. Patty's Day around like mid-March. Yeah. And there's also been times where I haven't golfed until after the Masters. It really just depends, especially up north. Like I said, I live down here in Detroit. Champ Hill's like up here around 4 hours, basically across the state. Up north, the winters are obviously longer. We're going more north, right? We're getting obviously up closer to Canada. The winters up there are longer. So I would say even up north, mid-May to I think the season ends October 31st. Yeah. But as you know, being in Michigan, like that could change. October could be hit or miss. So it really depends. The further north you go, the shorter the season gets. Obviously, there's courses up in the UP like Gray Walls. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That's they didn't open until June 1st. And that's insane. Yeah.
That's in crazy. The UP by like Marquette, right?
Yeah, that's the top of Michigan. So
yeah,
top of the UP, so.
For those probably uninitiated, I'm gonna take a wild guess here and be the person who doesn't know anything about Michigan geography. I'm gonna say UP is probably Upper Peninsula.
Upper Peninsula, yes.
There it is.
Yes. Sorry, I gotta remember that.
Okay. I know when the season ends sometimes because that's when the texts start firing off from her family that want to come out to Arizona. Yeah. They're like, I'm Jones into play, and it's like November. Oh yeah. Like mid-November.
Yeah. And Sean's just like, golf just got great here because of the weather, but it also just doubled in price.
Price just went up.
Yeah. Peak season.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited to hear more about this course. Like I don't know, it's a blind spot for me.
So I've got some fun facts trivia here.
For sure.
There's a piece of trivia here at the end. Marco, you probably know the answer to this, so I'm gonna position it to Sean first. Sean being our resident golf course / geography nerd / sicko. We'll see if he's got it. And then Marco, if you know the answer, feel free to buzz in and give us the correct answer. So the course was initially designed by Lee Stone, whose family owns the land. He was the co-architect on the course who did a lot of the hand shaping on his own family's bulldozer in the mid-1990s. He was the one out there with just the family's bulldozer. Like Marco said, a lot of it is just kind of the land that they naturally worked with. A lot of the elevation changes, they left it and built the course around it. They just had to shape some hazards and some tee boxes and some greens in there. This course features 4 par 3s over 170 yards, which just like as a 20 plus handicap, that hurts. Like to not have any of those reprieves be like a nice 137 or even like a 145 to be like, all right, cool. Like short iron in my hand. Like, nope, I'm hitting a 6 iron on all of these or longer. So probably not. You don't probably hear a ton of people talking about their aces that they got out at a Champion Hill a lot. It is built upon the highest elevation point in the county. Like Marco had talked about earlier, it has unique viewpoints of multiple lakes throughout the round, including Crystal Lake and Lake Michigan. And like I talked about at the top, this used to be a Christmas tree farm and orchard. So they left not a ton, but they did leave some of the trees around the course from that. And Sean, there is a lone fruit tree on hole number 2. Mm-hmm. What fruit does that tree bear?
It's got to be apples.
That is correct. He nailed it.
Yes.
It's got to be.
I was like, is this one of those questions that I asked Sean and he's like, how the F am I supposed to know what fruit this is? Or I knew you would get it right away.
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm
very famous, man. Yeah. I mean, you got cherries in Traverse City up there, right? That's pretty well known for a lot of Michigan ganders. But apples is like, you think of like cider donuts in fall in Michigan, and it's apples. Like that's what you get.
So I was just in the Midwest this past weekend. I was in Minneapolis for work, and I was like, what food is Minneapolis known for? Obviously, the Juicy Lucy comes to mind, but apparently Minneapolis was also known for apples. It was like number 4 on the list of foods that Minneapolis was known for. And I was like, is this just like a Midwest thing? Is this? And then somebody was like, oh no, like the Fuji apple was like made here. Like that's where they get most of the Fuji apples from.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Sorry for the tangent, folks. Just wanted to felt relevant.
Real quick on tangent. How was that ballpark? That was a new ballpark for you, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. If you haven't been Target Field, which is really funny because it's right across the street from Target Center. I've took a photo. Maybe we'll drop it in here, Sean, where I'm inside of Target Field and there's a sign that says Target Field. And then literally right above it is the sign for the Target Center across the street. Like,
yeah.
But I love baseball stadiums that are built in the heart of the city. There's nothing like them. Like Sean and I have probably talked about Petco a billion times on the podcast before or in other forms of content. Like I absolutely love Petco in downtown San Diego. I wish that Chase Field had that more of that electric vibe, but Arizona just doesn't have that vibe in summer where the city is abuzz. But you can tell that like people who live in Minneapolis, like in the summer when it is nice, they are going to Twins games and then going out in the city. Like it was, We went on Saturday night and it was packed. And by no means are the Twins a good team right now, but the stadium was like filled and everybody was around. It was like a 90+ degree day in Minneapolis, which are few and far between, but you can tell that people love that stadium and love the Twins.
Yeah. Even
put it on the list.
In town too, right?
But yeah, I think that was. I think people were running off 3M Open during the day and then going to a Twins game.
Oh, going to a game. Oh,
yeah, I saw. I must have seen dozens of Waggle hats. I know Waggle was founded up there in Minnesota, but I was like, outside of like a handful of people, like most people down here in the Southwest and then on like the West Coast aren't necessarily wearing Waggle, and I was like, it felt like every like 6th hat I saw at the baseball game was a Waggle golf hat. I was like, that's crazy. Like that, I was like, man, they definitely have their existing market saturated.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to let Marco dive back into Champions Hill. Marco, I want you to talk us through the first time that you played here. Like, what can people expect? What's the experience like pulling off, seeing that, that old wooden sign, but coming in and what's pro shop, all that?
Yeah, so it's not a big pro shop. I mean, it gets the job done. First and foremost, the course is BYOB, which is super rare at any
Oh,
golf
yeah.
course nowadays.
Woo!
But they are pretty cool about you bringing beer. They don't have a liquor license, so that's something they like to advertise, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's your typical pro shop. It's small staff. Not a ton of staff up there, as you guys know. It gets in the summertime, it's great, but most of those people are vacationing up in northern Michigan in the summertime. So I love the clubhouse. First time I ever played there, I actually shot my best round there. I shot 3 under. I think I shot 69. So naturally, when you play a course like that, like when you have a good round like that at a golf course, you kind of fall in love with it. It was my first time there. And really, I think you kind of talked about the views and just how peaceful it is out there. It really is. Like, I always try and go in the morning. I always try and get one of the first tee times. One, to get back and go to the lake, but two, it's just quicker, as you guys know, pace of play. And you can't beat it. You can hear the birds chirping. The course is so hilly, so you just have views of green for miles. I mean, trees upon trees. And I have some pictures and drone shots. I can try and share them with you guys so you can overlay them on the video if you'd like, just to showcase. But it's just, I mean, an unreal experience. You get the speaker going. I don't know how you guys feel about music on the golf course. You get the wingman out there, and you really just can whip around in 3 hours. You get some unreal views, some sun. And, like you said, when you go out there, your first round, you shoot 69. It's like, man, I love this golf course. I've been back like 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
It is tough. The par threes do get you, not going to lie, but there are 4 par fives that are pretty scoreable, including 17 and 18. So it's just, you get through there and you're just like, man, they have a pretty good replay rate as well. Or some people, I think we talked about it, or I mentioned it. They do have a sister course that's down the road called Pinecroft. Not my favorite personal course, a little tight for me. But most people can whip around and go over there or go to Crystal Lake, just hang out. It's just a really awesome experience. For me, I'll try and always hit it when I go up there. My wife's in-laws place, about 30 minutes. So I always try and go up there and play. But that first time, like you said, 3 under. I mean, how can you not love a golf course after you shoot 3 under out there on 18? So
yeah. There's the plight of golfers is if you shoot a new PB or if you shoot even a relatively good score, that course usually automatically jumps up into what? Probably your top 5. Like easily. And then is there anything worse than a course that you've really been looking forward to playing and heard nothing but good things about, and then play absolutely terrible? And you're like, I don't see what people see in it. Like, I don't get it.
Exactly. I feel like every golfer has that debate. Like, everyone, there are some golf courses that I really like that I have not played well at. University of Michigan, which we're just talking about. Arcadia South's another one. Different topic for a different day. But no, I tend to agree. It's like the greatest debate. It's like, I hate that golf course. What'd you shoot? 96. So that makes sense. So I get it.
Yeah. I had to go ahead, Sean.
I'm going on a tangent, so go ahead.
No, you please. Your tangent might still be in the same place as mine, so go ahead.
Marco said in his answer, I don't know how you guys feel about a speaker on the course. And then he just rolled through. I want to just for a second. Okay, Marco, tell me yes or no, you're playing the speaker in this scenario, okay? You're a twosome and you get paired with another twosome you don't know. Are you putting on the music?
So, the question was, you and your buddy get paired with a twosome. And you're in your own cart, but the different twosome. I'm playing music. I'll ask them if they're courteous.
I was going to say, are you asking them?
I'll ask them. Yeah, I'll ask them to be courteous. But
are you asking what kind of music they listen to, or are you just going to play what you were going to play?
Just going to play what I'm going to play.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I was having this debate with someone that was like, do you ask, or do you are you guys cool with Kendrick Lamar or whatever? Like.
In my defense, though, I rarely get paired because I rarely play with people I don't know. So, to be honest, it's much easier said than done in that specific scenario of like, yeah, I do it. And then you get out there with someone you've actually never played with. You're like, I don't know. So, in hindsight, I probably would, but I don't know because I don't really get paired with people that often. So that's a good question, though. I like where your head's at.
Well, so where we settled on it was we said, well, let's see who we get paired with first, because we were judging how old are they. And are they cool? So on the first tee, we're like, you get a sense of them, and you pull off the first tee, and you're like, yeah, they're cool. Fire that thing up, Versus like, no, it's some old guy who's not going to appreciate this. So we're just
that's like the real caveat is to never play music on the first tee, like especially in front of the starter. Like I just let it be. Fire it up in the fairway on 1 or on 2, right? The volume's got to be an appropriate level. I think that's like a hot button debate right now. Is what's the volume of your speaker? Like, how far away should someone be able to hear your speaker on a golf course? And I think that's also why when I listen to music on a golf course, that's why I lean towards listening to yacht rock a lot of the time, because I think that is
doesn't offend anyone.
It doesn't offend anyone. Like, if you're offended by yacht rock, then you're the problem. You're the curmudgeon, right? Like, you're not.
Yes. My go-to is always country. Like, maybe it's the summertime vibe, but like I feel like people always like love country. Maybe it's just my friend group, but like I'll throw on something neutral. But I don't know. Maybe that's me. I also play it only to where my car can hear it too. I'm not blasting it, like some obnoxious fool. But I agree. The volume can be a little, because like if there's two cards and I can't hear my music, but I can hear your music and it's not coming from my car, that can be a problem. So
right. The mix that you get.
Yeah.
Country. I'll listen to country and I enjoy it, but that is probably the first genre that I would say someone's going to go, as long as it's not country.
Hand up. Don't like country music. If chances are, if I'm out on a golf course, I'll live with it, because I try and remember that like the golf course is the best 4 to 5 hours of my day, and I shouldn't let things like someone's music choices try and ruin my day. I'm going to do enough ruining of my own day on my own. Don't let somebody else do it for me. But yeah, I think that's the same one where it's everybody's like, yeah, I'll listen to whatever except country. Yeah. You also reminded me of the two musics blending, where I think I played with somebody once, and I was the solo who got like paired along with another group, and they were trying to sync up their two Bluetooth speakers, where the system is built to sync up, and they couldn't figure it out. So the music was playing like a half a second off of each other, and it's the most irritated I've ever been on a tee box in my life. I was like, I can't even think like at all. I was like, please God, just turn it off in general. Okay, I digress. That we did the tangent. We did. Thank you for that, Sean. I like that tangent. So obviously we know that Marco loves Champion Hill. That's why we have him on. But I also think it's really important that we bring in some outside perspectives on the courses that we talk about on Level Select. So we always go out, we grab a 5-star review, and we usually grab a bad review. We try and grab a 1-star. Sometimes I'll favor a 2-star just to get some more options out there. Today we're going to go with a 2-star. And then we kind of let Marco try and confirm, are these accurate? Are they inaccurate? Does he agree? Does he not agree? So I'm going to lead off with this 5-star. You can tell me what you think, Marco, and then we'll go over to the 2-star as well. So with the good review, fantastic course. Wow. This was the best course we played all weekend. Fantastic views, beautiful fairways, and great greens. Really fair pricing too, and all caps, BYOB. Would play this course over and over again. Awesome and friendly staff. Can't give this course a better review. A must play.
Wow.
Hence why I chose that 5-star review specifically.
And I did not write that today. Just so we're clear.
It almost always, it's really funny. I'll always like pick a 5-star, and then it almost always is like verbatim the same talking points that our guest wants to talk about. I do think there was one thing in here that they touched upon that I don't think you've necessarily touched upon, is the pricing. Like what is it during peak season out there to pay?
I actually have the bang for your buck test.
Oh, well then hold on.
I got a lot of details on that too, so I'll save it.
Okay. I'm ready for TJ's mind to be blown by Michigan.
I mean, prices. Yeah, right. I can only imagine, based upon like even a little bit of the research that I did, you find some stuff for pricing, but then it's like, that was 10 years ago, or that was 5 years ago. It was before COVID, and like anything could have changed in COVID. So I'm really anxious to see, now that I know that he's got that on his test, where that's at. Okay. We'll go into the bad review then. The bad review. Course was absolutely gorgeous and had a great time playing for the first time. Manager in the pro shop was rude to our group when making the turn. Our foursome kept pace of play and played in under 2 hours on the front. Ended up being about a 3:45, 4-hour round, which is typical, especially with how long the course was and the distance between greens and tee boxes. We went to check the dogleg right at 10 to make sure the group in front wasn't in the fairway. She walks out and tells us to hit immediately. And when I said I was checking to make sure they were gone, she insisted I hit immediately again while walking back to the tee box. Zero understanding of safety or precautions at this point. The course is overbooked and we were getting hit into on every single hole for the front nine. We had to wait for the group in front of us on every green for our approach shots. I believe the course was overbooked due to time of year and aerating the greens at noon for the end of season. No marshals on course, no alcohol, no water jugs, no trash cans at the tee boxes. Pro shop was lackluster. Would recommend, but be prepared to play fast. Marco, your rebuttal.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, I did read some of the reviews as I was preparing for this podcast. I did see a lot similar reviews to like this, complaining about the management and staff.
Mm-hmm.
I will say on one thing, there is no marshals out there, but there's never a pace of play issue. Rarely are they overbooked because typically you can't make tee times online. You have to call the pro shop and make a tee time.
Wow.
So the overbooking thing, I think may not be true. I'm not calling this person a liar, but I've never experienced an overbooking there either. The staff is older, I will say, but I've had nothing but good experiences with the staff. Like I said, BYOB, there's no marshals, but pace of play is really never an issue there. There is not a ton of trash cans, not a lot of water jugs. I think that's written on the like on the when you tee off, though. It's pretty plastered. At the end of the day, you're never going to please everybody. I think at the beginning of the review, they said highly recommend the golf course or beautiful golf course, whatever.
Yeah.
Everything seemed to complain about everything else. So at the end of the day, who knows? You're never going to please everybody. But I can see some of the stuff. Some of the stuff doesn't make a lot of sense to me, though. But, I've only played there a few times. So you never know. Everyone can have different experiences.
The no water jugs on golf courses thing is crazy to me because I grew up in Arizona where Sean lives now and where Sean also grew up. Where it is like a legal requirement to have water jugs on every third hole, Sean.
Yeah, like every fourth or fifth hole.
It's crazy like that. It is virtually impossible to not have water on a golf course readily available to you in Arizona. So then when I moved out to Southern California and to San Diego, I was like, oh yeah. Like I don't need to fill my water up before we tee off. I'll be fine. I'll grab water, whenever we get a chance. And that's it's not the case at all. There's a lot of golf courses who don't have any water at all like this. So it's a foreign concept to me that a golf course couldn't have water jugs.
Also, in this review, did I hear someone say that it was booked up and they still played in 3 hours and 45 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure
out. Correct. He said that he said ended up being a 3 hour, 45 minute to 4 hour round. Yeah. World's tiniest violin for sure. to say that they were waiting for the group in front of them on every green for their approach shots and they still played a 4 hour round.
Sounds great.
What was it? Only two of them out there? Was it only what was it
with long drives between holes too? You forgot that there's long drives, which is not also that's not really true. There's one medium length drive between holes. Yeah. I don't think that's true.
Anyway. a lot of the times the usually the 1 or 2 star reviews are people who are just either having a bad day or they have wildly unrealistic expectations from a golf course as we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to let Marco jump in. We told him today to come with a few of the questions from the must play test that he thinks that this course is going to pass with flying colors. So, Marco, what is the first test that you want to take a look at today?
Yes. So I was looking through the questions you guys had sent me, getting prepared last night. The 3 that I was going back and forth, honestly, with a few of them. I think I picked out the best 3, but you just touched on it. A couple of them, ironically enough, that I picked. But the bang for your buck test. Okay. I love that question. I think that's a very, very difficult question to judge in 2025 because some people have unrealistic expectations. Some people maybe don't realize the value. And first of all, how much golf has gone up since COVID. Even Champion Hill, for example, has gone up. But regardless, bang for your buck test. I've got a whole page of notes on this. So I apologize. I'm looking over different monitors.
You're fine.
So the question is the golf course worth the rate you play? Do you feel like this is good value during peak season? This golf course does things a little differently. So like I mentioned, they do different rates. Their opening rate varies because they don't really know when they're going to open. So typically first 2 weeks of May, you get it for, it looks like open to May 16th is $49 for 18. Decent value in my opinion, which is crazy. Then from May 17th to June 20th, which is basically the 1 month of spring, is $59 for a cart and 18.
Stop.
Twilight. Oh, this is the best. Twilight after 3 p.m. from May to June 20th is $49. but you got to keep in mind that after 3 p.m., so you could go out there at 3:30,
and finish.
get a
You could still finish.
and get 27. You get 27 because it does not get dark up there. It does not get dark up there until 10 p.m. in like June, like, June, July type stuff. And then June 21st through September 14th, they do 69, which is peak season, I think is what you play. And then same thing, Twilight after 3 o'clock is always 49. So I think to get the max value, I think we just kind of talked about it. I think that May to June window, I think is going to be your best bang for your buck, just to get that extra $10 off from 69 to 59. You can walk the course. I'm fat and out of shape, fellas, so keep in mind I'm not the best walker. I don't like to walk, especially when I'm up north on vacation. But you can save some money walking. I think walking is 43 or 49 for 18. So $20 cheaper to walk.
Come on.
But I mean, I think in order to get that maximum value, I mean, you got like a month to get, like, I mean, you could maybe get 36 if you did Twilight. And I don't know if they kick you out. I don't know if they require carts in after a certain time, because like it really does. Like, Sean, as you know, like up like Michigan, it's up here, which is like the farthest west of the Eastern time zone. So like literally me and my wife go up there for 4th of July, and it's like 10 o'clock and you can still golf. So I think in order to get the max value, you need to get out there for Twilight. 69 is still value in my opinion. I put on here, I think 75, I think would be kind of the top end for what I would like to pay. Now I would pay whatever because I love the golf course. I have a good relationship with some of the people over there. But at the end of the day, I mean, $69. It has gone up. So I think it was 64 last year. It's gone up, similar to everything else. But I mean, for the value, you just cannot beat that price. Like I said, if you want to go to that max value, BYOB, Twilight, get that speaker out for the boys, get a case of beers, just go out there and have a good time. So, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just the BYOB, and like that's not a thing that we have baked into this question at all, because we want to just judge the rate of the tee time. But it's a common thing where a round of golf doesn't cost you just what the tee time costs you, right? Like, you're usually going to probably eat lunch out there, or you're usually going to have to buy a few beers or a Gatorade or some trail mix or an Uncrustable. Like so being able to have an affordable tee time, and then knowing that you are encouraged to bring your own 12 pack or whatever with the boys and just run your beers that way, saves an insane amount of money.
Yeah. And not only that, just like the views, like I put on here, like a lot of the stuff that like I don't think you can put a monetary value on, but like the views, like you mentioned the elevation change. I guess you don't realize how hilly it is until you actually go out there a couple times. But like the views of like, I mean, I got my drone up there last time when I was out there a couple weeks ago. I mean, I got Lake Michigan, the Platte Lakes, Crystal Lake, all in the background. I mean, just the views, the trees, the aesthetic is like, and the pace of play, like I've never played a longer round there than like 3 hours and 45 minutes. Shout out to our friend in the 2-star review. To the 1-star. But like, and that was the day of my wedding where we had 16 people. We had 4 groups back to back to back to back. And so I think just the aesthetic, the value of the course, the trees. I mean, like I said, I'll try and share my drone photos with you guys just so you can get some visual. But I mean, it's just unbelievable, the price point. And like I said, they have a sister course. So I don't know if they do it this year, but last year you could do 2 in one day where you just, and I think you get some sort of value for playing them both in the same day. So I think Fried Egg did a piece on it. It was under 100 to play them both, which is just an absolute steal for a Northern Michigan golf course, in my opinion, with the views and aesthetic that it has. So I think it does pass the bang for your buck test with flying colors, fellas. Just my little biased opinion, though.
Real quick, take me there on the BYOB. I'm your partner. You show up. What do you have in hand? What are you bringing?
Oh, easy. I've been on a shandy kick, summer shandy these last
very Midwest of you.
Yeah. Oh, always. I'm not I don't love to drink. Like I like to drink, but I really enjoy it the most when I'm golfing in the summer. Like there's just no better vibe. And I don't know, the shandy, like it just goes down better. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but big shandy guy. If I'm not drinking shandies, typically we'll go some sort of IPA or margarita. Margarita's not on the golf course, but that's just more of like a pool drink. But shandy's my go-to on the golf course for sure.
Michigan has one of the sneakiest, best craft beer scenes in the U.S.
Grand Rapids is unreal. Grand Rapids. I went to Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo is amazing.
Yeah, that's where Founders is, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And Bell, is Bell out there too? Bellsburg?
Bells is in Kalamazoo. Yep.
Yeah. Every time I've been to a course in Michigan, I mean, I haven't been to a BYOB one. I've been so impressed with the local craft beer that they offer, and I'm like, wow, okay. Like beers I've been wanting to try. Like I have to hunt in Total Wine are just like at the pro shop. It's nuts.
Oh yeah.
Out here it's all like domestics and then maybe a Four Peaks beer or something like that on the course. There's like not that many options. So I was curious what you're bringing, because I mean I'll drink a shandy all day long in the summer. That sounds great.
Yeah, that's the best.
That's a great choice. Okay,
so all day IPA guy, by the way.
I love an all day IPA as well.
You mentioned Bell's. I love Two Hearted Ale. Like absolutely.
Yeah, but that one will that'll catch up on you.
Oh, not on a golf course. Not on a golf course.
Oh, okay.
I just meant in general to consume. That's not my favorite drinking beer. If I'm not touching an IPA on a golf course.
TJ's a transfusion guy, by the way, Mark. I don't know if you know.
All day.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off of our Shano Golfs podcast, did have my first water hazard the other day on my bachelor party. Yeah, Sean, I know you had a sip. What were your thoughts?
I was impressed. It was pretty good.
It's pretty good on a warm day. I was very much like, I don't know if it would replace a transfusion, but I definitely think it holds a place out on the golf course.
Yeah, it does.
For sure.
Okay, so bang for your buck test, exceedingly passed. Marco, what's the test number 2 that you want to look at?
Yes, let me pull it up. It is the buzzworthy test. Okay. This one I actually found, I wanted to do a couple ones. I want to do the pace play one, but I think we've already talked about pace play is excellent out there. I don't got to spend too much more time on that. I got a third one, but the buzzworthy test. Are there multiple holes worth talking about? Does the course have more than one hole that a group would immediately want to go play again? And so I think we've read from the couple reviews, come highly recommended. Yes, there are a lot. As you can imagine with the elevation changes, there are a few holes that do want to get you coming back. I think there are multiple personally. The first 3 are they're kind of not the great. I don't want to say not. They're probably the worst holes in the golf course. Not a shot at the golf course, just how great. Once you get to 4 is the highest point on the golf course. So kind of go 1, 2, 3, and then 4T, you turn around and see all the lakes.
On a lot of golf courses, you don't start at the top, right? You start at the bottom, and then you have to go up the hill to get to the hole that has the highest elevation, right? So you've got to you've got to suffer through to get to the better spot.
Yeah, and so I put I think I had 5 or 6 examples, and I won't spend too much time hole by hole, but hole 4 and 5, 4 is a great hole. It's like I said, I don't know if it's the highest or the second highest point on the golf course, where you walk up to the tee box and you just turn around and there's just trees, lakes. I mean, just if you get on a really good sunny morning, it's an awesome view. It's a shorter par 4. It's not the greatest hole, but just the views, aesthetic. Like you said, you can hear everything. It's just such an awesome, peaceful morning. And I love that view. Leading into hole number 5. 5, I think, is a very iconic hole. It's a par 5, kind of wound through the trees. You hit down into a little valley, not a valley, a tree chute. But you're hitting downhill, and then you're hitting just this backdrop. It's just trees, hills, a lot of peaceful. You can hear the ball. If you get that early enough, you can hear the ball whistle through the trees, which is super cool. Yeah. And then it's a par 5. So typically, if you're playing well, those par 5s are going to be birdies or pars. So I feel like those 2 holes are very memorable. Holes 7 and 8 are also very memorable. 7, second par 5 on the front side, actually goes up to, I think, what is the owner's house across the street towards the green. Very cool par 5. I just think it's a really cool aesthetic when you just drive up from 6 and see this hole that's just there. It's an easy hole, but it's still just a really cool view. Hole 8, in my opinion, is one of the most memorable. Hole 8 and 15 are back to back. Hole 8 goes this way, 15 goes this way. Just awesome trees. It's a downhill par 3 to a smaller green. And 8 is just it's a postcard. It's a postcard picture. 8 and 15 both. And then the only other 2 I have, 15 obviously is just the same thing. Just hitting into trees, green. You go there in the fall, you can get some really cool colors from those holes. 17 and 18 back to back par 5. 17, ironically enough, still has I don't know if it's part of the tree farm, but it's a par 5 that's like a dog leg, and you got to hit over the tree farm to hit your second. It's this little part in the golf course, and then 18 is just a back-to-back 580 par 5s to end it. I feel like if you play those well, definitely birdie holes will always keep you coming back from a memorable hole perspective. Those are the few that really stick out at Champ Hill for me. Like I said, the views for me, maybe the older I get, the more I appreciate nature and such. But the views are just unbelievable, peaceful, man. It's awesome. It's really
the birds
really cool.
that are on the hole.
Exactly, the birds. Exactly, just the small stuff. You just don't really appreciate as a kid when you're golfing. But yeah, me and my wife will go out there and we'll get just a morning tea time, just me. Whip around 2.5 hours. She'll ride in the cart and just sip on some coffee. Like it really is just an ultimate vibe. But those are the most memorable holes, in my opinion.
Very cool. That's a great detailed explanation of what probably makes that golf course, such a good hidden gem and paints an actual good picture for everybody at home without actually having to go watch a full 18-hole YouTube breakdown.
Yeah, and like you said, the par 3s are tough. 11 and 13 are 240 par 3s in the back box. They both play down. 11 actually plays uphill, but the 13 is downhill. Those are very memorably tough from that perspective. The par 3s are not easy.
240 uphill?
240 uphill typically plays into the wind. Let's put it this way. For my wedding, the 4 of us, all scratcher plus handicaps, I think I was the only one who didn't hit driver. So it's playing like 270. Yeah. So it's a tough hole, but you get a good shot. I mean, the greens are super receptive, so it's not like super firm, which is my one knock on the course because the way it's set up, it sets up firm and fast. Like you think when you see it, it should play firm and fast. The greens get a little spongy because the weather and they don't have a full season up there to prep it. And that's my one knock on the course. But other than that, it's like I said, there's a lot of memorable ones out there, but those par 3s are brutally tough. I did not realize none of them were under 200 or whatever you said, 180.
170, I think is what they said. Yeah.
I had never thought about that, but yeah, it's crazy.
It just makes it feel like it's a long day, right? Like every time you pull up, especially if you haven't done any like extensive course research before, and every time you pull up and you're waiting for that one where you're like, all right, man, like put a wedge in my hand or put an 8-iron in my hand. Like you're looking forward to that one all day and it just never comes. Yeah. Okay. So we've got that one. You said you initially wanted to talk about the Marshall test, but I think we're going to pass on that one.
We're going to pass on that. Yeah. I think the review said there's no Marshall outs there. The pace of plays are never an issue. I've played multiple rounds and 3 hours and under for 18, which is, as you guys know, is insane. With the 2-some. So pace of play is great. Yes, the last one, and this is the one I went back and forth with because it's a weird question. And Sean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well because you're a Michigan guy. But it's question 10. It's the dime a dozen test. Is this course unique to the area, or could you get this experience somewhere else on your trip/visit? Now, I didn't really know how to approach this question because it can go both ways, right? Yes and no. There are some other courses up in northern Michigan where you can get trees, birds, lakes, so you can get all of that, especially in the Traverse City area where, Beulah, right? Beulah is about 30 minutes west of Traverse City, the kind of the closest major Michigan city to it. And there are so many golf courses up there. And so, yes, in theory, I think you could get this experience elsewhere being at an up north Michigan golf course. As far as like the views and lakes and stuff, yes. But as far as like, is it unique? I would say yes, because rarely do you find a golf course that is very good, but not part of a resort up there, right? You've got Arcadia, the Forest Dunes, or you pick your point. There's so many even mini resorts up there. So I didn't know really how to talk about this one. I think it's unique personally, but given the fact that there are so many golf courses up in that area where you can play, you can get bang for your buck, right? It's not the only one up there that's cheaper that you can find as a hidden gem. But for me, I just didn't know how to go about answering this one. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that, especially you, Sean, if you've been up in that Traverse City area. As you know, the golf course is unreal, but this one just holds a special place in my heart. So maybe I am a bit biased there, but that was a tough question for me. I really didn't know how to go with that one.
Yeah. Well, you're allowed to be biased, right? Like you answer the question when we have guests on, especially the level selects, we want you to kind of sell people on why this should make the list. But I would say this question's hard when you are in an area with a lot of golf, right? So out here in the Valley, we try to think of if someone's coming from out of town, right, and you're taking them to this part of the world, and you're like, okay, we got 3 courses to play while you're in town. Does this make one of the 3 that you're going to have them go play? And if so, why? And usually that why is one of the other questions: bang for your buck, or the views, or you just can't get this experience anywhere else. So there's something unique to that, right, that makes it that way. So I'm not going to be the judge on this one. I'm not an expert, but I'll just tell you that like there is a lot of golf up there, and there is a lot of golf that has better views or maybe better amenities, right? But to your point, there are a lot of resorts too. I think like ones that come to mind that aren't resorts, like Kingsley. I know it's kind of further away, but that one's supposed to be really cool. I've heard good things about Bay Meadows. I've never played that area by Traverse City, but yeah. So I don't know. It's tough because you're going up against like what, probably 10, 15 other
I mean, Arcadia is 30 minutes from where Champion Hill is, and Crystal Downs. I mean, like you said, Crystal's super private. Kingsley's about an hour. Yeah, Kingsley's also private. Never played, but would love to get out there. That's another one that's like.
Oh, is that private? Really?
Yeah, it's private, but it's pretty accessible if you know the. I've actually got invited a few times. I just have never been able to go.
Oh.
But yeah, the Kingsley is awesome. But like you said, you are competing with a lot of courses up there. Even like you said, that Bay Meadows golf course. I've never played there, but it's right by where we stay. That's a fun one. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 like up in the Leelanau Peninsula, which are just like 30 minutes north. That are just equally probably good as hidden gems as Champion Hill. But it's just like, let me put it this way. I have recommended a lot. I have a good relationship with the golf course. And I've done a lot of stuff on Twitter where a lot of people come, they're planning their Arcadia trip and they're like, what's a golf course so we can go play? I always recommend Champion Hill. It's right there. You can't beat the price. And like I said, after playing Arcadia, it'd be nice to play something that maybe gets your confidence up a little bit. So
I also think that all golf courses should have like one budget round in them, just like across the board. Like if you're going to play 3 rounds in a trip, I think one of those, if it's a place that you will probably frequent again, like throw a budget round in there and let everybody have, a day off where everyone's not trying to be like, oh, let's take every moment in, or let's play this course super seriously that day. Like Sean and I have talked about this on the podcast before, where anytime we do a boys golf trip, we always try and play the back 9 of the last round that we play as a 4-man scramble. And it just really always caps off the trip with everybody feeling like really good about everything. It leaves no one upset about gambling debts that they've paid or little bickerings in a 2-man scramble over what club we should pull here, or should we lay up or go for it? Like, it's a nice way to cap it off. And I think like this course sounds like it could be like an ideal candidate to cap off a trip like that is budget friendly. The BYOB, like it's going to be fast. So you know that you can still squeeze it in. If you're like maybe flying out in an afternoon, you can get out in the morning. Like it's sometimes that for me, I feel like the dime a dozen test is kind of like the summation of all of the other tests, and being like, if it is passed more than enough, then it probably is going to get a pass on the dime a dozen. But
that's a good thing. Like also like traveling, if you are flying in for the out of state, it is closer to Traverse City Airport, which there are like 3 major airports you can fly into to get up to northern Michigan. That's not like private. Traverse City, Grand Rapids, Detroit. Grand Rapids is straight up 131 or 127, 2 hours. And then Traverse City, obviously within 30 minutes. So from a travel perspective, it is close to the major airports if you are flying in from out of state. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Speaking of scramble, TJ, your bachelor party, I realized yesterday counts as one of the 3 scrambles that I need to play this year. So
technically, it goes towards it. That round checked off multiple boxes because it was another round that you got to play with me. It was a scramble.
Yep.
What else?
And a new course.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marco, that covers it for about what we're going to talk about with Champion Hill. But I want to chat a little bit about the Scratch Golf Show with you. Tell us more. Tell the people what you do, what you've got going on, where they can find you, all the good things.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, TJ. Like you just mentioned, it's at the Scratch Golf Show on all major socials, not named Twitter. Twitter, it's just Scratch Golf Show. I didn't have all the characters. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can follow me, subscribe, please. I mainly push out my content on YouTube, but yeah, it's a passion project. I've been a huge YouTube guy. I love pro golf. Like I'm huge into all golf, YouTube golf, pro golf, whatever you want to call it, but just wanted to have my own outlet to talk, for a long time. I think during COVID, I'm 31, a little older. But during COVID, I was like my mid 20s, was still single. Good kind of came on
31, a little older. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah,
sorry.
Let me hold on. Let me move my cane and my walker from here. If that's older, Sean and I are deceased.
Anyways, Good was just coming out right during COVID, and I've always been a YouTube guy, like Call of Duty, video games, whatever. I always consume content through YouTube. So when Good came in, it was like, man, this is really cool. Always wanted to do my own thing, and basically, I don't know if you got. Can we curse on this? Yes,
go for it. Fire away.
Yeah. Okay. So I always tell people, you can. I always tell people this. I've been thinking about doing it for a long time, right? And basically, I was talking to my wife. She told me shut the fuck up and do it already. So I did. Last Masters. My inspiration was from Pat McAfee. Obviously, you guys know Pat. Creating his own thing on YouTube. I started doing live streams, golf talk show. I just wanted to get in front of the camera and just get comfortable. Slowly have transitioned the content over these last 16-ish or 14, 15-ish months, whatever it is now. Started in the pro golf scene with live streams, gambling, then into interviews with PGA Tour caddies and the pro golf. Tried it there. It wasn't really successful. And then lo and behold, started interviewing the YouTube world. And then it just kind of came to be these last 5 months have really, just maximized the exponential growth on YouTube. And it's just super satisfying seeing seeing a piece of content that you thought of, put out, organized. Like I do this all myself, all the editing, scheduling, everything. Like I do everything myself. I don't have any help. And just seeing a piece of content that gets thousands, tens, hundreds, with the Wesley Bryan interview that just dropped last week, get views. It just is so satisfying. And so we basically cover all things YouTube, golf, and professional is kind of my catchphrase in my intro. I don't really have a set schedule. The news thing can obviously drop any day. So I really could drop a video any day. Try to post Monday through Friday, just for the algorithm purposes. My content on the weekends has not done as great. But yeah, I just talk about stuff. Like I have my own outlet to talk about golf, get paid to do it through YouTube AdSense now. And it's just been the coolest thing ever. It's been cool to see it grow. We do a lot of the interview stuff still. We've been working that back into the content these last couple of months. As you guys know, scheduling is just brutally hard with guests. So hard. Getting back on the content grind. We just had Wesley Bryan on. We just had Matt Scharf on. And we've got some cool stuff coming in August from the interview perspective from your favorite YouTuber. If you like YouTube, most likely had him on the channel for an interview at some point. So, yeah, just trying to get through summer. And then Good's putting on a live event in September in Chicago. That's going to be kind of my cap off for the summer. Going to go on site, working on getting a media pass through Good and just do a bunch of on-site content, which is not something I've really ever done before. Obviously, if you do watch this and you do watch my content, you'll see me in this chair, which I make 95% of my content. So getting on site and doing and working with Good, I have a relationship with them. I've had a lot of the guys on; they know who I am, which is it's just super cool from a YouTuber perspective. That the biggest people in the space know the Scratch Golf Show, which a year ago was a pipe dream, and now here we are, a reality of doing podcasts with people. I love doing podcasts. Make sure you drop these guys a sub, follow, whatever. Spotify, review, sub, follow on YouTube, all the good stuff, because I know how much that counts, man. So drop these guys all that. They do really good work. And like I said, thank you guys so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the platform, because it is really cool. I love talking about it. It's my baby. And so, yeah, just follow me on YouTube or Instagram. Those are my main two platforms. Subscribe. And if you're interested in YouTube golf stuff, check me out. I really appreciate the time, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, most definitely. A few things. One, love hearing somebody who just clearly very still has the passion for it. As fellow creators / podcasters in the space, it's incredible watching people come in and think that it's going to be this incredible thing. And then they put 6 months into it. And then they're like, oh, I wasn't immediately successful. And then they're just done with it. Right. So you have to have that level of passion. So hearing you still have that level of passion, also 16 months in and you're still and it pays dividends, right? You just had your best month ever, 16 months in, right? It only It is literally a labor of love, and the more love that you continue to put into it, generally the better results that you end up seeing.
No, for sure. I agree. You know, I did it for 11 months. I got monetized March 25th, was sitting in this chair, can tell you exactly what I was doing at that point, hit 1,000 subscribers. And I'm over 6,000 and it's July.
It's crazy.
It's not even been 120 days. And it really is, like you said, you really got to put the time in. Those first year is horrible. Like it is unsatisfying, a lot of work, but once you get through it and get through the consistency, you see the rewards, the brand deals, the connections, the conversations you have. Everyone loves golf, especially now in 2025 with COVID, and you just never know who you're going to meet, right? I mean, I've met so many cool people through golf, the conversations, relationships. You never know down the line when someone can help you. Most of the people I've met doing what I do in relationships have come through golf, and it's just my passion. My dad got me into it when I was a kid. I love it. If I'm not here working my day job or working on the podcast or with my wife, probably at the golf course. So I'm obsessed with it, and you get a lot of fulfillment on doing your own thing. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So,
yeah. I'm also very glad that I didn't find out that you were a gamer until later in the podcast, or else a lot of these questions would have went in a different direction. I have one question to kind of like cap us off here: optic or phase?
Optic, I think. I was a modern warfare for 2 guys, like Optic Hex. Like I'm sure you know Hex. Like that was when I got into YouTube.
I literally have.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I literally have a Hex graffiti green wall here. Sean, I'll explain this to you when you're older.
When I'm 31.
Yeah, Fortnite boom was crazy for me. Like I was a Call of Duty guy, and then Fortnite. Like I've never been a sports gamer, but like Fortnite just like capsized me. Like I still will try and hop on Fortnite.
any of us who were around during it was pre-COVID Fortnite, and then COVID happened, and Warzone was just crazy, right?
Warzone,
I had every person who had never even played a video game in their life being like, "Yo, are we hopping on tonight? Like, where are we dropping?" So it was crazy. Cool. Before we go too far into the game stuff, I want to kind of wrap us up here. Obviously, thanks for hopping on, talking Champion Hill, uncovering another hidden gem in the Midwest for us, and also, telling us the whole spiel about the Scratch Golf Show. Obviously, it's incredible that you love it and that you're seeing all the success from it. Ultimately, fingers crossed, someday, either myself, Sean, or both of us get to make it out to Michigan and we get to play Champion Hill with you. I think it'd be really cool. And then we get to have you come back on and do the must play test someday. So fingers crossed on that. And then obviously, like Marco had said, we won't double down on it. But if you're watching on a platform where you can subscribe or follow us, please do so. It helps a ton. Or if you can provide us with a ranking, it's humongous. Stay tuned for more. Obviously, guys, we'll talk to you next time where we unlock a new level. Thanks, Marco.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.